You are now tuned in to the Ambition Hour podcast on Worth the Wait Radio. You ready?
It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour,
Yo,
baby.
and
It's
welcome to the Ambition Hour
baby.
podcast. It's your girl Claudia Renee on your airwaves, and this is episode 169.
I think it's 170, no, bro?
No, not yet. We're not there yet.
Straight.
Minus 169.
You know what's funny? I actually noticed that last week I said the wrong episode number.
Oh, that's
when
why you
I
got me fucked up.
introduced the episode.
You know what? Right when you said it, I had a feeling it happened. But hey, you know what? It happens, bruh. You know what I mean? We still professionals in this bit.
I made sure to put it in the description that I messed up. Okay, so.
Yeah. It's not wrong when you admit that you're wrong.
Yeah, because what was I going to do? Record the hour again?
Or imagine you did like a little voiceover.
You just saw my mouth move.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You could have made it a little funny. I'm just thinking about that editor guy from Full Size Run.
Oh, yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
But we here.
Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome yet again to another beautiful episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I am your host, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves. It's just Claudia Renee. But you know it rhymes. And I'm here.
Everybody gotta have a chic.
Yeah, and I'm joined by my co-host, House 600 in the building, the
Yes.
best little big brother in the world.
The best little big brother in the world. The best podcaster, co-host
podcaster
in the world.
I know that's right.
So we here.
We are here. Last week we didn't get to share this story, so I'm gonna go ahead and share this story. So I was having a rough day because I had no sleep the night before. I had gone out
On the 24 hours of partying.
Yeah, and then so I was a little hungover because I had been drinking the night before. And you know, it's Friday, so if you went out the night before, you're either tired as hell, hungover, whatever, because it's already the end of the week or whatnot. Anyway, I was having a rough morning, right? And then out of nowhere, I just hear one of my favorite songs playing. Like, literally out of nowhere. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I was enjoying a cigarette in the backyard.
It's a cigarette for the kids.
Yeah, I wasn't really a cigarette. But yeah, so I was enjoying that, and then I hear the song, and then once I realized that it's him doing it, it just made my day. I grabbed Bae and we started dancing, and it was just awesome. So
Yeah, I'm gonna put the footage. We're gonna get it because I sent it. I'll send it over WhatsApp. We'll put it in the shit.
that's funny. Yeah, if you want to, we'll go ahead.
Well, tell them what song it was.
It was "Take Your Time" by SOS Band.
SOS Band.
And this is literally one of my all-time favorite songs. It is so hard, and it just is so groovy. And I always say, like, imagine being in the club when this song came on.
For real, off the smack too.
Yeah, and like, you're on the whatever drug you're on at that time. It was cocaine.
Was preferred in the 80s, yeah, because this song came out, literally
1980.
in 1983.
This song is 9 years older than me.
Yeah, I was gonna say 9 years older than you.
And I listened to it like that bitch came out this year. Because I listen to it often. Like, I heard him play it, and then I listened to it maybe like 4 more times that same day because I just love that song so much. Yeah. So, and I found out from my aunt that was a song that my dad used to like to dance a lot. Yeah, he used to dance to a lot to it. So
yeah, my dog thought he was, John Travolta in this bitch. I was confused too. I thought I was John Travolta for a couple years myself. Grease,
Shout out to John Travolta. If you know, you know. And we are going to start the episode like how we always start the episode, by saying what we are grateful for. I'll go first.
Yeah, I was going to tell you to go first. Yeah.
I am grateful for this podcast.
And you guys, thank you. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this shit every day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just grateful for this podcast. It has been and served as a virtual diary, kind of, even a place where or like even recorded therapy, because there have been times where, like, either myself, Hav, or even the guest, they speak on something that is very like close to them or dear to them. So Yeah, so I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that, I did not want to record today at all. Like,
But as soon as Hav said,
oh my God, no, because, okay, so I text Hav and I let him know that I didn't want to record, right? And so Hav was just, because I told him why I didn't want to record. And so,
and we all been there
and
too.
yeah,
as
I
an
just,
artist, as even if work, sometimes we just don't want to be there. Go ahead.
yeah, I just didn't want to be in front of the camera. I was feeling a little insecure about things. And so I mentioned that to him, and he's just like, if you want, I'll be in front of the camera, and like we can switch spots. So he's thinking that that's what made me be like, nah. But he doesn't know that even after I had done my makeup, I was still gonna be like, maybe we don't need to do the episode today. And it's I don't know how to explain it. I have no valid reason as to why I didn't want to record. I just didn't want to.
Well, it's also you don't think that it's what you're saying though too. You don't think it's also taxing, like whatever you're doing or whatever you're committing to on a weekly basis, such i.e. this podcast.
Yeah.
It does take a toll. So is it some of that too? Like, what do you think? Or speak to that too, because I'm pretty sure people go through this.
I feel like one, it's like, yeah, it's just like it's
a lot, guys.
It's a weekly thing. I think about the next episode, or I think about the podcast like all the time. It's something that I'm consistently thinking about. I am a podcaster before I am what I actually do at work. Like that.
Shout out to the jobs that are paying for the dreams.
Yes. I'm very appreciative of my job. Love my job, actually.
And the bosses that are cool with that too.
Yes.
Salute to y'all.
Yes, exactly. So that's just it does take a toll on you, after you've had when you feel like you've had like a consecutive amount of stressful weeks, and then you feel like that last day of that week, you just like kind of just want to like chill. Like I just wanted to like, I haven't honestly since we've gotten Bay, I haven't like really enjoyed like a full day in my room.
Yeah, right.
Like I haven't, and so like a part of me kind of like misses that as like because I like having my own time.
Right. Yeah.
So I just felt like maybe I was just like, maybe I can get away with, like not doing the podcast and then take advantage and just spend some time alone. And I ended up not being able to because my child is over there feeling not that well. So it went from, maybe I can sneak a nap in to, no, you have to like pay attention to her and see what's wrong with her and, be attentive to her. So Hav, what are you grateful for?
Yeah, so what I'm grateful for kind of ties into a topic that I wanted to talk about. And basically it's just grateful to see the growing pains. And I'm seeing that also with the child, with Bay, just seeing her grow and hurt from one another. And even when you were talking about seeing the podcast, like even seeing like when you posted that 3 years ago and where it is now. So, but like, yeah, pains of just like knowing that, and also that life is full of highs and lows, right? But it's all about how you act when it's low, and it kind of to quote the D3, it's like to act when you don't have the puck in control, like when you don't have the ball, how do you act?
Yeah.
So, when things aren't going your way. And I think that sometimes that is a realization. We get into things or we commit to things, back to the podcast, back to anything that you're committed to on a weekly basis. And sometimes we don't see the success that we see or thought we would see right away or at a time period or a time frame that only we gave ourselves. No one else did.
Yeah, no one
else said that there was a due date on you to lose those 10 pounds, but you feel bad every single day, even though you've been working for a week and still haven't lost those 10 pounds. Like, relax. It's going to happen. You just got to keep on going and hacking at it. And everything is a numbers game, You're more likely to meet your mate or you're compatible if you did mingle around or, you're out there.
So that's why I'm still single.
Right. I'm just saying because you're just increasing your chances.
Yeah.
Or
it's like shooters gonna shoot.
Right. Or, or sometimes it takes motherfuckers a long time to know what they want and what they don't want. So there's that. But, you got to stick to it. and stick to the grind, and also know that you're building new muscle when you are sore, when you are tired, right? When you are tired, no pun intended, because she did that.
For those listening, I just yawned.
But this is a grind, right? And we're no cap with y'all. We're saying that we work Monday through Friday, and then on Friday we shoot the pod. So this is not all that we do. We're doing that. We got the dog. We got other shit that we doing. We getting more responsibilities. Your boy's got his own policy number at Geico now. Shout out to that.
I know that's right.
So there's just other things that are happening in our life.
They're just new.
Mentally,
It's different.
new.
It's moving. It's like you're not ready for that. And I kind of want to like continue to what you're talking about, because you're saying like the whole growing pains thing, and just that whole thing. I was thinking about it, and something that I had been experiencing the past couple of weeks has been that. Because a lot of what I was experiencing was because of my lack of, so because I know what my strengths are,
Right.
My weaknesses, I ignore them.
Right. I focus on the strengths.
Yeah, I focus on the strengths, try to focus and get stronger on the strengths. I am mindful of my weaknesses, and when I do find one, I like to fix it as soon as I can, however I can, because I always think, and I always preach about this, about the whole becoming the best version of yourself. So if you find out something about your personality and the way that you are, and you find a weakness, then it is important for you to be mindful of it, so that way you can either change it or make it stronger. So that's something that I know I was experiencing. So it was definitely growing pains that I had been going through. So I know when you grow and when like all that stuff, you need rest. And sometimes I feel like I don't get rest. So
Right. And also that too, like not getting the adequate. Well, in short, I'm blessed for having growing pains and still being able to grow, right? We were talking off air. Shout out to that. And we were talking about, a certain individual who was stuck in the past, right? And how that sometimes is reflected on just how your surroundings or your upkeep or your business or your mentality or the car that you drive or how your house is looking, because you're stuck in that past.
yeah.
Right. And you're not growing. You're not learning, because if you're not growing, you're dying. What do you think? So in short, yeah, I'm basically thankful for that. What do you think about this? The average human being only reads about one book a year. What do you think about that? Because I was low-key shocked at that statistic. Not being an advocate reader myself, but I was just shocked at that. Like, I'm not reading 2 books a month. Like, no. But I'm reading, like the last few years, though, I'm not sure if I've been making it more of a point, but I've been averaging probably about 3 or so books this year. And I know you've been more of a bookworm. So what do you think about that?
Well,
We ain't planning to be average anyways.
yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is ask people ask anybody, right? Because you just don't know. You can't judge a book by its cover.
Oof. She getting good, y'all.
So ask anybody and ask them if they've read a book this year, right? You can ask them that. Chances are they'll say no, or people will even say that they don't have time for it.
Right.
Like, I don't have time to read a book.
Yeah, damn.
And it's like, yeah, but you have so much time to be on TikTok and so much time to like be doing other things that you could definitely, like, in high school, I don't know how it was in your guys' schools or around the country, or the world. But in high school, you had to do 30 minutes of silent reading.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so the 30 minutes of silent reading, it was for a reason. They were trying to train us to be readers because reading is fundamental. Reading allows you to learn new words, to understand more how dialogue works. That's why the way that people write their books is so important, because it has to keep the reader's attention, because there's so many things up against a book. Like, there's kids up against a book.
Wow.
People can't read a book because they got kids. I can't read a book right now. Like, when am I gonna have time for that? So, in short, I believe that one book a year. I think it's sad.
It's sad, yeah. It is. Wow. Conspiracy theory here. I always thought that 30 minutes of reading was really for them to catch up on some work that they didn't do.
Oh.
And they always kind of had to get to it. And they also, since it was in the morning time, it was a way for us to be calm and silent.
Yeah.
Right, to kind of like, because one, like in the morning, you're seeing your friends, you know, you're up, you're finally, you know, like you already had the bus ride, you know, you got the breakfast or whatever like that. And it was kind of like, all right, let's calm these kids down a little bit. And then we could like kind of almost like, but like in a good way, like almost in a therapeutic way. Like, okay, let's get some zen and some energy, like calm the energy in the room.
Yeah.
And then now plus the reading, what the reading would do would open your mind. So now you're open to.
Yeah, more open to what the teacher's going to say, what you're going to learn.
Right.
Things like that. Did you ever like being called on for reading?
There were certain points that I was and certain points that I'm not. Because as you may know, being my sister, you may know that my reading probably isn't my highlight point. Or I should say, and I think that there was times as the skill grew, and as it became more public speaking. I actually remember one time I read and someone was like, "Man, it sounded like you were rapping," you know, and that was like in 9th grade, and I think that really started energizing and plant and watering that seed that was in my mind from 5th grade or so. About just making music, being a rapper. It was just different. Like nowadays, y'all have all this. You're like, like my setup now, like it's more accessible now. The knowledge is there. YouTube is there.
We would have killed to have this setup when we were kids.
When we were a kid, yeah. Like we were talking it back then. It's just like now it's a little bit more accessible. Like we're coming up.
We got money.
Right. We got money and we got ways that we can.
I got money now.
Invest in ourselves, but also just like how technology is like this, like you used to just have to work at MTV to have a camera, or like you had a camera, but it wasn't.
Or to even have a show.
Yeah, to have a show, right?
You had to be on like now you can just load it up on YouTube.
Man, talk about that though, because you had an opportunity, or you've, or if you really wanted to, you could go at knock on a door at a radio station and get a job, and there's plenty that will want you and would hire you basically on spot. I would assume. Talk about that, how you kind of like stick to the guns of independency and kind of like how like in this day and age, like fuck that, like fuck writing for the Post. You could make your own blog or your own magazine these days, your own subscription base of your point of view and only your point of view and the shit that you like, and don't have to work in that sandbox that they're in because they built up this brand. Right? There's topics that they don't talk about. So my bad. I asked you a question. Keep on.
No, I believe that when it came down to it about, staying independent or deciding to maybe apply for a radio job or something like that, I just thought about the freedom that I have when it comes to the podcast. Number one, it's my show.
Bitch.
I didn't name it. Shout out to Complex. I didn't name it.
Shout out to you, Plex.
Yeah, I didn't name it, but I remember hearing the name and being like, that's the name. Thank you. You will always get credited. But I feel like when it comes to when you go to a radio station or when you do that, like to me, it's all about ownership.
Yeah.
I want to own this. I want to own I want to own everything. Like, like at the end of the day, that's what I want. I want ownership. And so that means that I have to stay independent, because if I don't stay independent, how will I know the true meaning of ownership? You know what I mean? In the end, if it turns out that, we sign a deal or it's
we on Apple Radio.
Yeah, like whatever it is, I feel like
something.
it's going to be an independent partnership. It's going to be me still being independent, me owning it, me being the head in charge of everything. It's just now I'm going to have like a team of people,
or a separation of the brand of the Ambition Hour. Like that will be forever. You know, like you'll do that. So, but like if you would, you know, Revolt or another show like that, like yeah, and you could play in that sandbox too, because that's one of the things. At least when we're talking about it, we're gonna edit all that.
Edit what?
All the yawns.
Oh, we're going to be editing all night.
Because they're gonna make you want to talk about the traffic, and we necessarily don't want to. Or I mean, I speak for Claudia. You know, like, or I guess maybe I am speaking for you in the sense that like you didn't want to talk about stuff that you didn't want to talk about. You know, like you get to choose and have that freedom, and that ownership is what gives you that. So it's never an objective or a certain narrative that they want to pick. Pick here or a side that we have. We don't got no political ties. We don't got no, you know, industry ties. You know, if we say some shit, fuck that. We gonna say some cap. It's some bullshit. So, also that.
Don't care. Like that's how I feel too. Like there's just some things that I don't give a fuck about, and I'm not gonna talk about them.
Yeah, Claudia's not gonna talk about the Kardashians or in a bad way. Because we're going to talk about them, yeah.
Yeah, because there's going to be something that I'm going to talk about them. But I'm not going to, like, go out of my way and use my platform to talk bad about... I don't think I've ever gone on here and badmouthed anybody. Except the fuckboy, but...
Yeah, but we don't do that. That's what we don't do here. You know, if you come here, you know, guess it's about giving you flowers and giving the game and ambition. That's all this hour is about. Reset and give you that ambition and adrenaline thing. So tattoos.
We were talking about it earlier about how tattoos are like reminders. And so I was mentioning how I have like the biggest reminder of like waking up with ambition and having ambition.
You gotta wipe that hoe down too when you drying yourself off. Like
yeah, I have to like, and then when I go to the beach, I have to make sure that it has the. I've actually had this tattoo since what 2014.
Yeah. Or so
15, something like that. That's crazy.
About to spell it. 10-year anniversary. Oh, shout out to Wiz. It was the 10-year anniversary for Rolling Papers, and I believe that they re-released it, a deluxe version that was only available in Best Buy. And there's a new Nipsey Hussle verse on one of the songs that was originally released back then.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like Wiz,
but they added the Nipsey verse.
Well, Wiz always had the Nipsey verse. It's just that at the time, and it was crazy because he was in a deal.
Okay.
And he was getting off of that deal, so there was gonna be a problem clearing. Like he was in that, so like Wiz didn't want to fuck up anything. Didn't want that that verse to be revenued and all that to his old label, so he was gonna wait. You know, they were gonna wait, and then, but now is also the opportunity that Wiz also touched on something that was
Okay, how?
That was interesting though, because he was talking about like 10 years, or 10 years ago, like if there was a rapper who was still out 10 years after, kind of like looking at him like, right, you old, you know what I mean, or like get out of here already, you know, like, and now it's like, no, like I get to re-release it, put new music out, you know, like, and it's just more acceptable, or like, you know, just rapping or rappers are just, you know, like when they're here to stay, they're here to stay.
Yeah. It's like a rappers like Nas and Jay-Z who have stood with the time.
Throughout the test of time.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe that that's important for a lot of people to see, like, the matureness in hip-hop. You know, because unfortunately, this is also a genre that a lot of people die, like, early.
Yeah, and not also pass away, or their career's over because it was just a trend. It was just a trend.
Their music was just a trend,
or a facade,
or got on that shit.
Yeah, or they got it. Yeah, or they sprung out. You know, like, and finances, the money started getting low. It happens to NBA players, you know, and some of them with college education or so. And you know, I would say if there's an average of one person reading a book, I would say, I don't know the percentage on hip hop graduates. I could only think about two that come to mind, and that low-key would be Sweetie and J. Cole. It's kind of crazy. But
wait, what?
Doesn't Sweetie got her degree?
Yeah, she does.
And then J. Cole has his degree, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I'm saying. Like, how many hip-hop graduates are there? You know, so I could only imagine, just due to education, because sometimes education could give you like some financial things, especially when you go higher up or anything like that. But in hip hop, and it happens on the NBA level, and those guys have to go to college, you know, since 2000 or 3 or whatever it was. Because I think it was like 1-2 years. Actually, it's like 1 or 2 years after LeBron, because he was like one of the last players to go straight from high school. And yeah, like, you know, what's the average of hip hop or artists? I should just say artists across the board, not just in hip hop, to generalize it, because there's no education level entry here. You know,
it's just like, oh, you can sing.
Yeah, like
You can rap. You can
a-
dance too. All right, we got a whole team for you.
Yeah, remember Buddy in Walmart? He didn't even go to Walmart. I mean, he didn't even go to Walmart. He didn't even go to Walmart high school. Like, Buddy was still in elementary school. The kid, the
yodeling cowboy.
Damn, I forgot him. He had his minute though, man. Shout out to him. You know, and
or like even these child stars, like Bow Wow
Yeah.
was a child star.
right, or America's Got Talent motherfuckers, you know, that came up. I forgot that girl's name. She's super talented. I forgot her name though.
If you forgot, I don't know.
She played the guitar. I'll look it up.
Okay, so we were talking about
Tattoos and being daily mementos.
oh yeah. Okay, we were talking about that, but we ended up talking about education.
Oh yeah.
And that came up because we were speaking about
Well, financials, or like the financials of people being, you know, of hip hop artists 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, we might see them.
there you go. And then
Well,
even them getting older.
Yeah, getting older, but then also there's a couple of reasons why they'll get out the game.
Yeah,
And-
true.
And being broke or blowing your money will be one of them. Because it's happened, and that's why I brought up the NBA players. You know.
I read somewhere that Jay-Z went he made all this money after leaving the streets and then went back to selling drugs because he has like his own marijuana strand that he's gonna like make big, like has made big and is selling and all this crazy shit. So, and I just thought that number one, motherfuckers need to mind their own business, because if he wants to go back to selling drugs, let him fucking sell drugs. White people can sell drugs, so can black people and Latino people. Like,
It's not drugs, it's medicine.
it's
Claudia.
medicine.
It's for medicinal
Yeah,
use
but you know,
only.
people who judge weed
Yeah,
call
it's
it a drug.
Yeah, that's a fact. My bad.
So I'm calling it what they would call it, so that way you relate to what I'm talking about.
Cook up.
But it ain't a drug. And so that was number one, like, mind your business, because he clearly is and is making a lot of money doing it. And also, like, who's to say that, like, I mean, I've never been a drug dealer before, but I know that they make a lot of money. And I wouldn't be mad if I made a lot of money and knew, hey, shit, when I was selling drugs or when I was selling weed or when I was selling whatever, I was making a lot of fucking money. Imagine if I were to use a lot of money that I have right now to sell a lot more of the drug that I used to sell at a higher level,
Right, yeah.
with the name that I have.
It's like rebuying that stock that made you money, and you like kind of like, yeah, it plummeted, or you sold it a little early.
Yeah.
And then now you're like, it's like kind of like, it's something that like, oh yeah, you get like, this made me money now I could do it at a larger scale.
Exactly, because I have more money to invest, so now I can flip it more.
Yeah, this is a tested,
and
proven,
it's legal.
Yeah, it's a tested, proven product.
Exactly.
So what's the risk?
So what is the risk?
What is
I
the
have
risk?
the money. I have my money right here. I want my Furby. Like, it makes so much sense to me for Jay-Z to want to sell weed. Like, come on. And I
Especially with
know
Biggs.
that. Yeah, and I know that it's with Biggs.
Well, just him and his affiliation, because I think Biggs is already a part of that industry.
Yeah, he
So
is.
them being friends, like, of course, like putting him being put on game, or them coming up with a new strategy, or reinvesting more money in a brand. That I would think that would be a play.
You mentioned Biggs, and so that made me think of Mal.
Mm-hmm.
So did you see the little drop that they did of him and Rory?
Yes, I did.
What did you think?
Well, I thought that, okay, one, we know who did the skits, because when the skits came out for the JBP, they were good, and I feel that Rory was probably more taking the point on those, or kind of got like the awkward make reference kind of thing. Like, I always felt that Rory did a good job on kind of with that. Even when they did like the little the commercial with them outside the bodega or something like that. Kind of like, I don't know. I and maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but that was good. I'm also like excited. Fuck that. I'm ready to see an episode of the
Team Rory and Mal.
New Rory and Mal. I'm trying to hear that. And Joe Budden shit is just what the Migos been told us.
Unsubscribe, bitch.
If you hate it, man, call that boy Joe Budden, man. So.
That's crazy. Well, I loved it. I loved that Mal was being super drug dealer-ish.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, to me was, like, my favorite because they
used to sell it for the low. What is it he said?
Oh, yeah. No, he was...
Like,
what was it?
It was like e-commerce. Not like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got it for the low. No, what? What do you mean?
Or he's just like, I know how to make, turn 5 into 10.
Yeah, I turn 5 into 10. Right, yeah.
And yeah, so it was just like little things that were just really funny. I ended up finding out that the person who plays the person, well, for those that don't know, it's basically Mal and Rory going to a job interview, right? And so of course they play along with Mal being the drug dealer or like hustler, all these things. So
or not having a real resume.
So Rory is just like, do you have a resume? And he's just like, I could get one. And he's just like, not like some Harlem shit, like a legit one. He's like, I can get something. So it goes to like them going to the job interview. Mal is dressed normal as hell, like he normally dresses, and Rory is ready for the job interview. He has his resume printed out, laminated with him. He is ready. It has a little tie situation going on. So of course, that was like great to see, the dynamic of them going to the job interview. So the person who was interviewing them, I ended up finding out that this person actually works with KD. They have like an investment company together, and they also have like it's called Broadcast, I believe. And it's basically just like a platform that they have shows on. So it looks like...
Oh, they're going to the Broadcast Network?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be going to the Broadcast Network and going to be like on that network but with KD and this guy. I don't know his name, so I'm sorry, but shout out to you.
I know that Joe always would make fun of the Mal takes of sports, but I'm kind of liking that. And like how I was saying with $1 million worth of game, getting, like they've interviewed KD, Dame, and Jason Tatum recently. I would like to see Mal and Rory kind of interview some of that, of athletes, especially with Mal knowing TA, Trevor Ariza, Julius Randle, KD, even his relationship and or friendship with Brandon Jennings. Right there, those are 5 guests. And I'm pretty sure with those names, you could start drawing in more people to come in. Not that I want their show to be solely
like sports. I think a big episode would be good.
Not just sports, but also not just a guest podcast either.
Yeah, because they did the times that they did the podcast, just them two. I actually enjoyed those episodes. It wasn't that many. I think it might have. I just remember one off top.
I remember one off top, yeah. And honestly, that was a good episode. Like,
yeah, because it was like around Christmas time or something like that. Because I remember they had the tree up at Parks' spot.
And you didn't have someone yelling for 30 minutes of the hour and a half or whatever it is. It was just, and they went through the topics, breezed through it, and it was just, it was more of what you like of the podcast, which is like you're chilling with the homies.
Yeah, exactly. I want to point out how easy it was for me to just say goodbye to Joe Budden. I literally, okay, so for starters, now that we're already talking shit, for starters.
On the episode, we say we don't talk shit.
No, see, I'm not talking shit. What I'm going to say is I'm going to share.
It's an analysis.
Yeah, it's my analysis that I noticed. And this is how I knew that I was not going to continue listening to the Joe Budden podcast because of this reason. So when the other 2 co-hosts came in to basically like not take over, but to, kind of take over, eventually they ended up taking over. So I actually stopped listening because I would tell Hav I did not care. Like, I think I listened to like maybe 2, maybe 3.
And like not even really listening.
Not even really listening to them, because I was listening to them at work, and then usually I remember when it would be like episodes with Rory and Mal, I'll be like, dang, I can't pay attention right now. Let me stop listening. And with them, I was just like letting it rock. Because like I wouldn't care. I would be like, I don't give a fuck what these guys think. Sometimes they would like say certain stuff and like, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. But then I'll be like, but what does Mal think? Or what, Rory would have said something here. Or even like the sleepers, it was just like, where's Mal's sleeper? You know, where's Rory's sleeper? I've gotten some really good songs from Rory's sleepers. So,
and I feel like Sleepers was a Rory idea, but I don't know how much credit I'm giving to Rory. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I think, I mean, yeah.
I think it's safe to say that Rory did have a lot of great ideas. I don't think that Joe maybe realized that.
Yeah, that and also because I'm associating a little bit with the marketing that I've seen and the promo that I've seen, or just the branding, you know, I guess you could say, of emotional oranges, and also do say Palooza, like, you know, like it was kind of.
It takes some type of
Like he has an eye for that, you know.
yeah.
Like no cap, like yeah, I'm gonna give it up to him, you know, real quick. He does have an eye for that, and I think that Joe does, you know, Joe's gonna see that, especially now with, you know, whatever they're doing next.
Yeah, because I'm sure, like how you said, like even with when you look at the other brands that Rory is associated with, you think like how you're saying, like, oh, the marketing is good and
Yes.
they're doing very well.
The
I think
aesthetic.
Emotional Oranges just dropped a video with Becky G.
Shout out Becky G.
Yeah,
Shout out
she's
to
beautiful. You know, she could have played Selena.
I wouldn't have been mad at that. But I think she's just like a little too. Well, no, Selena was short, and I guess you could say that. But then, like, okay, but y'all was getting on my girl for her not being thick enough.
Oh, who?
And then Becky G.
Oh yeah, she's not. Yeah, you're right.
Shout out to Becky G. I hope you have a healthy relationship. But if not, you know, she had actually a funny ass TikTok, because you know what she said, it was like one of those like questions, like high questions a little bit. It's like so if I eat breakfast for, and I know you do this, if I eat breakfast for dinner, does that mean that I skipped dinner?
I love breakfast. That's my favorite. And I love having breakfast at nighttime. I'm about to have breakfast right now, but I don't want to make pancakes. Okay, so we talked a little bit about growing pains like we wanted to. And this is actually the last Saturday of May, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So wanted to shed some light on that. I've been trying to share, like, because I've been freestyling a lot of the advice that I've been giving as far as that goes, as far as like therapy and things like that. And I just want to say to like end mental health awareness month is listen to yourself. Listen to what your body is telling you, what your mind is telling you, even what your surroundings are telling you. A lot of the times we don't realize that we are not feeling well until it's too late. And if you were to just notice, like right now, what's coming to my mind is I know I'm tired as hell because I know how my room looks right now. And when it looks like that, it means that I've had a long week. I haven't had time to really organize it. And I'm also just like in and out, you know, and that's not good because my room is my sanctuary. So I should know, based off of that something ain't right with me.
Girl, you got issues. No.
Yeah, no. The thing is if we're being 100, like, okay, so my birthday's coming up in like 2 weeks, right? Thank you.
It's Gemini season, motherfuckers.
It is, bitch. The best season ever. And so my birthday's coming up soon, and usually before my birthday, there's always a lot of growing pains. Obviously, because I'm turning another year. I'm thinking about Bay. I'm turning another year older. So before that time, I always think about my health. I think about my body. I think about, man, I need to lose 10 pounds. If I can lose 10 pounds, Lord, please. Like it just starts to become like so much that you start thinking about like before your birthday and things like that. So yeah, so I know that mentally I've been going through it because my birthday is coming up. I see all the signs. The routine that I once had before we got Bay has not made its comeback. And I want to know,
seen the light of day?
and can I talk to the manager to see how we can fix this? Because because I don't know how else to do it, because I would rather do something else than to clean on Sundays.
Yeah.
Like I wake up every single day. Usually I'm up before 7:30. You know what I mean? Hav is too.
I'm up by like 6:45.
Yeah,
or 7.
Hav is up like at 6:45, 7:00, and I was saying 7:30 because it's usually before that, but because sometimes like during the weekend I try to like push it like past 7:15 at least, please. I just want to sleep a little bit, so that's just something that like just ends up happening. So I don't know where I was going with that. What was I know I was talking about growing pains and like,
and
just
listening to your, because I thought that was a great point. Just
listening
listening
to yourself, because a lot of the times you be right.
That and also like, bro, once you did it or once you've done it, like Claudia knows that I'm a Libra, guys. So I know it's Gemini season, but I'm a Libra, and all my Libras know that sometimes we are indecisive. We're trying to balance everything, and purchases. I don't know if that's also just like financially, or I just try to be a little bit mindful of my spending. Because I'm pretty sure, if I had more money, but honestly, I usually don't be tripping on the prices. It's really more like, should I get this? Should I not? Am I really going to use this? Do I really need it? Type thing. Am I gonna like it, right? Because I've had that experience, right? Especially when it was when I was in the Cobb and J's every release. Like, damn, but then they don't look good on my feet. Or am I really gonna wear that gray and navy combo? How many fits am I gonna get off in that? So just little shit like that. But just listening to yourself, you just feel a whole lot better too. You just feel a whole lot better. You got it out of your mind. You have a clear mind. So if you're thinking about getting whatever you could afford it. If you could buy it twice, you could afford it.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do it. If there's something you wanted to do, go and do it. If there's that weight you want to lose, go and just start doing it. Start doing the actions, because the actions is what makes you feel better. Not sitting and thinking about yourself and pointing out your gut and holding your gut and saying, bruh, I think I really need to lose 20 pounds.
At me next time, Hav.
You know what I mean?
I'll be like,
shit, I gotta at myself, because that's real spill, because that's what I told myself, and that's what I was doing, bro.
You were
I was holding my gut and being like, bro, you really need to lose about 20 more pounds. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that, you ain't doing it enough. Go harder. And with the growing pains, right? The growing pains and matching what's in your mind, you want more. You're growing still, but you want more results, and you want it faster. And this, everything we want now, you know what I mean? Like, we needed it yesterday. That 10,000, we needed it yesterday. That's 10,000 subscribers. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We needed that yesterday, right? Like, things like that.
Yeah, something that I wanted to point out too, because I got a new car. I got a new car this week, so
Fuck boys.
I'm really excited about that because
Need to jump who?
Yeah, because wait, what?
Like, need to jump like a jumper cable? Need
Yeah, so I just gotta
talk to me. Need a ride, bitch.
Yeah, so I just got a new car, so I'm really excited about that. And I was talking to Hav and telling him about the different things that I had bought for the car, and how before, like I don't know, I was kind of like felt kind of silly for wanting to even buy these things for my car. Like, I bought some coasters. Like I bought some little coasters that had like little rhinestones around them, and I thought that was so cute. So like I got that. I got some other things. I got like a camera. I mean not a camera, a mirror for my, what the heck is this called? The sun visor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a like a mirror that comes with like a light, and like I got seat covers, and then I got this dog hammock so that when Bay's in the car.
That mirror looks HD. That shit.
Yeah, I when I got in the car, because I put the mirror in there yesterday. When I got into the car this morning, I was just like, oh, it's me.
She turned that hoe on, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then she tap. God damn, does it stop? This shit go blind a bitch.
Yeah, it's really bright. And if you know me, then you know that I like doing my makeup in the car, or at least touching it up in the car. And I like a good mirror, if we being honest. Like the mirror that the cars be giving you, they not giving me nothing. So I needed, yeah. So I was just like getting different things for my car and like kind of like upgrading it. And I ended up getting like an emergency kit for it, because I hate knowing that all I need is fucking jumper cables and not having them. Like, I'm tired of that. I am so tired of that. Or like knowing that I don't have air in my tires. Like I even got something for that. Like I can put air in my tires if I need to. I got a flashlight that doesn't require a battery. I got something that can, it's an emergency kit. Like what more do you like? Look up a fucking emergency kit and you'll see what it is. But like I got one of those and I thought that was so dope. I even got like a car vacuum, because I was vacuuming that car with a regular vacuum, and I was just stressed the whole time, because it's a big ass like it doesn't even fit in the screen. Like I was trying to show how big it is and it doesn't fit in the screen. So I was just feeling like kind of silly about it. I was second guessing some of the purchases. Some of the stuff that I actually got, like I even told Hav, like, I'm gonna need a second opinion, because I'm not 100% sure that I got this because I needed it, but maybe because I had always wanted it or something like that. And sometimes when you want something and you end up getting it, it's not what you wanted. And sometimes you just need to get it to know. And so that's something that you should always listen to yourself. Listen, I'm the last person to ever ask if you should get something, because I'm always tell you yes. I'm always tell you yes, because number one, you're always going to make money back. If there's one thing that I've learned about being broke, is that you'll get money back. Is that you'll make money again. Like, we live in a society, in a world where you have to work. Like, I would love to say that we weren't put on this earth to just work and pay bills. But if you don't work and pay bills, how you gonna live? How are you going to live? If you don't work and pay your bills, you can't. Groceries are part of your bills. Gas is part of your bills. All of these different things
that little sack you smoking.
Yeah, exactly. All
it's
of that. Like,
bills.
You don't want to say bills, but yeah, like at the end of the day, like if you, it's an expense. Exactly. So if you're not working and paying bills, your life is a little
different, or it goes a little way. Because I mean, yeah. Well, who are you relying on, and who you're being dependent, and you're being too dependent. And being dependent sometimes has its flaws. It's great, but it's better to have your own.
Yeah.
Right. It's awesome. You know, shout out to my my godfather, who's recently became a dad, right? So congrats
to a baby girl.
Baby girl, yeah, girl dad. Now he's officially part of the club. Because I've been in it for, well, I'm a dog. He has a person. But, it felt great.
Bae is a person.
It feels great when you do have, when we would go to the mall. He will cop me this, you know what I mean? Or we'll go to these stores that, wasn't just Zoomies or these basic brand stores or Macy's, and get clothes we will go to other places and you'll get me clothes. That felt good, but it feels even better now that I could buy my own clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or buy whatever I want, or like how Sis was saying, but how Adi was saying, basically like with this stuff, like this equipment, like I know what I'm gonna buy. You know, it's not
Yeah.
like someone's overlooking my expense or what I
Mhm.
want. Get the better microphone, the best microphone in the game. You know, for Adi, we gonna get the equipment that we need, the cameras, the lights, all that stuff. So.
Yeah, everything. And
You control your fate too on mental health shit too. Like you control it, you know. And throwing pity parties is fun. You know, I hosted a lot. But now and the bag has been run up. But stop it. No pity parties, bro. Like no one else is doing that. No one else is doing that for you, right? Everyone. That's like how you think. Everyone else is cutthroat. And will step on your throat to give it a chance.
that's like how, if we can share that conversation that you and I had the other day about how sometimes you think too much about what other people will think about what you want to do.
Right.
And that comes from you know what? I read somewhere that actually comes from your parents. It comes from something from your parents. I'm not sure if it was
Trauma.
yeah, it's definitely trauma for you not being able to make decisions for yourself, or like not being, I cannot remember what it was, but I know that it was in conjunction with something of your parents. I'm not sure if it was of living with them for like a long time, or even like having like kind of strict parents. I don't remember which one it was, but I know that it's something like that. And that kind of like makes you like second guess your decision making skills, because it's just like you kind of feel like you have to like kind of check in with your parents, or even like that stems from us wanting to check with our bosses.
Right.
Like, is this okay? You know, type of thing. So
No, but there's definitely something connection there, because that's always the thing, right? Or like what the decisions are. Even before I was releasing music more frequently, or at the rate now, I was always thinking about, dang, what are my parents gonna think about this or about that, or you know, like, would they be proud of me of this? Would they be proud of me of that? You know, would I ruffle feathers if I did this? You know, like, it's kind of like trying to be a good. Well, also not just a good kid, because I don't want to say that. It's just also like a little bit of my personality, like not being confrontational.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not confrontational at all.
That's why if I do have that or that stigma that now they put on me, but I really trying to work through it, because I think that that's a weakness that I need to work on with the devil advocate. But it's kind of like we do got to question everything. But and also like I'm not that I'm not passive. I'm not gonna lay down. If I have a thought, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna say it. You know,
Yeah.
like I could have kept the conspiracy theory about the school to myself, you know, whatever like that. But it's like, nah, I'm gonna say it, because I know later on it's gonna bug me. Like, damn, man, I really should have said that shit.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean?
something that I hate. And you know what? There has been something that I've been wanting to tell this person for a very long time. And I would rather not say it, because I want to keep what this person and I have. And I was actually talking to Spitz about that, and he was telling me, he was just like, so you would rather continue to just break your own heart. Like, you would just rather continue to break your own heart because of that. And it's just like, fuck, you're right. Because not telling this person that hurts like a lot, actually. So yeah, that was a little moment of truth. But
that's so true. You will continue to do that to not mess it up.
yeah,
Because you don't want it to be on you, or you don't want motherfuckers to say you changed, or anything like that. Like,
or because you said this,
yeah,
then I can't, you know, deal with you the way that I dealt with you. And it's nothing bad. It's just me. Just me and my feelings. So I wanted to bring this up because Jav and I were speaking about it, and it was a tweet that I saw that said, Sting makes $2,000 a day, which is $730,000 $200,000 a year from this song, which is I'll Be Missing You. Diddy didn't clear the sample, so Sting gets all of the publishing royalties. So something that I want to point out is that's the reason why bad boy artists don't get paid. Because if this man is making $2,000, what's left? I want to know what's left. Who Diddy ain't even getting paid from this song. It sounds like
And a day, damn.
$2,000 a day.
But man, you know, because man, music and we be missing, man. We be missing our lost ones, you know. The ones that we knew personally, the ones that we admired from afar. Yeah, so I could see that song because I was about to say, man, who in that world is listening to, you know, right? How deep, how emotional that song is, right? But that's the thing about music. We listen to it because it does get us into that emotional, and when we want to feel it, we go towards it, right? Or sometimes we lean a little too much. We listen to the breakup music a little too tough. You know, we listen to the depressed, the sad
Love
music.
a good sad song.
a little too tough when we sad. You know, right? And you just want to, you know, because it's that expression.
Yeah.
That it's that expression, you know, and sometimes, baby, you can't express it. So you're listening to this music for an outlet to express.
Exactly. So, I know it. Excuse me. Guys, I am so sorry. I went to sleep early last night, so I wouldn't be yawning during the recording of this. However, a bitch is tired, and y'all just gonna have to deal with it. So, some new music came out this week. I believe and know that DMX dropped his posthumous album Exodus. RIP to DMX. Truly missed. Still sad about this. But I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it, but I've been hearing or reading on Twitter some not so great things about it. And and they're saying that Swiss dropped the ball, and they're saying that, like, you know, they could have kept that album if that's what they had, and people are going back and forth. Motherfuckers think they know DMX now. But shout out to DMX for dropping a project, and this also brings us to our next topic of, like, basically just liking, like, people who have had some really good posthumous albums. And we mentioned the Biggie duets by Biggie. We talked about some Selena, also some Tupac. Tupac's been dropped. Yeah. Tupac and Biggie have been. It sounds so mean when I say it, been dead since. Biggie and Pac been dead since 96 or something, 96 and 97, and they have been dropping albums since then. So, yeah.
There's a couple of those that are like hits and misses. You know, Pop Smoke. That one was great.
That one
was because we heard that he also worked on that a lot. 50. I don't know how much he had to do it. I don't want to credit too much, but. That one was great, but there's a couple of duds, you know what I mean, that do miss the mark.
They're saying that this X one is,
you know, and then, you know, that Mike one was, you know, there's a couple of that Pac's Life was for Pac. That was actually the last album that after that they stopped
they stopped doing them.
No, we ain't taking that criticism anymore.
I don't think we got any more verses.
Oh man, but what do you want one or do you not want one? Like, what would you rather think? Like, would you rather, like, not have them, or would you take them? Even given, like, you know, like, let's say they 50-50.
I think one is good.
One is good?
I think that one that they wanted to drop.
And then, yeah, anything after that.
And then anything after that, like, I think it's too much, because I always believe that an artist should have the full creativity when it comes to the projects that are dropped. If they are no longer here, I understand that you may have 50,000 verses of theirs, but it's not going to be to the beat that they wanted it to sometimes, because they just take sometimes they just take these recorded things and put them on whatever beat that is going to go with it.
Right. Or it may not be a verse or a song, you know, speaking as me, like, I know there's songs that I've done that I wouldn't want out. Like, right. Like, we were just talking about it. We just offloaded about 56 gigs of sessions of Ambition Hour and my music and music, basically. Either be it Minds, shout out Spitz, you know, we're doing recordings in here, Scoop, Raw Shakes, like things like that. So, man, what I was saying is, yeah, this verses or songs that maybe I wouldn't want to go out. or I didn't want to clear
Exactly.
that one. I have songs that I had these lists of songs like
Exactly.
I have 100, but there's only really 14 that I would pick from those 400 that I'm
Exactly.
comfortable and I want everybody to hear.
Exactly. So
You know,
I
right?
think at least one is fine.
I like that one. I think that's a good rule, especially, and X had one too. Like if they're working on, like if they were working, like actively working on it, or they had it down the pipeline. You know what I mean? Like this was just getting mixed, you know, or all this was missing was to get mixed, right? But they already had that idea, or they already
Like everything was already recorded. And
yeah, the inside circle, just like how you know about my 3, you know, the 3 that I have in the tuck, actually 4. The 4 that I have in the tuck, it's just that now one is about to get ready. I'm going to release it in June. I'll probably be announcing that next week, hopefully.
June's next episode.
Yeah, so for June, yeah, sometime in June. Just want to pick a good date. I like dropping in June anyways. It's my dog's birthday, bro, so it's like my birthday.
I feel the same about yours too. That's funny.
So
I actually used to get gifts on Hav's birthday.
funny, I never got gifts on yours. But
I am the gift.
like a true Gemini. I guess we can't call it last week's episode. Oh my bad. But just like, yeah, like, you know, if I had that, or like the inner circle knew that they had planned these 3 more, or, you know, these 2 that they had on their phone already in an album format, like, all right, cool. But,
yeah, see, like I would drop those 4.
Yeah, you know, like,
or at least.
Appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll be like, no, this is already done. this is just y'all just weren't ready. So yeah, that's good. I mean, I think that one, or at least the one that they like heavy worked on, I think that once other people start getting into it, I think that that's a little messy too, because like if you think about it, like, because then you have so many different people who maybe have different opinions, and it's just like, but what does the artist want? Oh, right. The artist isn't here. So now we're just going on what's going to sell. And sometimes what they think is going to sell that's not even what's important, because DMX doesn't need to come out with something that's going to sell. It's going to be heard anyway. Like, it's DMX. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's DMX. So yeah. Somebody else I know, I honestly don't know who else dropped, but
Bad Bunny dropped a new song called 100 Millones.
I was listening to Bad Bunny. He's actually on the shop with LeBron and Jay-Z.
Oh, that's cool.
There's 2 other people on there, but I'm not sure who else. It's on HBO Max, and I really want to watch it because Bad Bunny was talking about how he was shy, but he's like, but I am who I am type of thing, you know, because he's shy, but if you see him, you would think that he was super extroverted because of like how he dresses and even his music. So yeah, totally relate to that. Another person that dropped music was John Fifth. So shout out to John Fifth. He dropped 2 for $5. John Fifth has been on the podcast, and he also listens to the podcast. So shout out to you. The songs were great. He dropped 2 of them, like I said. And my favorite one is Prophet. So if you guys take a listen, you know, that's the one that I'm fucking with. So make sure that y'all go listen to it. The other song that he dropped is featuring G Da Vinci, who has also been on the podcast as well. So shout out. Always gotta shout out when people from the Ambition Hour podcast family have dropped music. So, and you guys also know that he's one of my favorite artists. So make sure that you guys go check that out. It's on all streaming platforms. So
Since we're on the topic, it just looks interesting. Eminem, I guess, dropped the remix. I like the features that he has, kind of like Jack Hart.
You want to talk about Eminem on my show?
No,
I'm joking.
I was really gonna talk about this Jack Harlow and Corday kind of seeming to be, or hopefully be, in 2 of the top nights for this new generation, right? Because we just saw this whole Mount Rushmore of the 2010s.
Yeah.
And you know, it being Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick. I said Big Sean would be there, especially for the impact, and I feel like he's more of that era. They need to do a different one or another one, because I believe that Travis is someone that needs to be there. I think ASAP has to be there, because also, like, especially with those 2, and I hate to put them, because a lot of people try to put them together, but I think both of them have similar things that it's just beyond music, like fashion and influence, because that was something that I was seeing also on the timeline too. Like motherfuckers was saying like, yo, Big Sean got us to wear G-Shocks. Big Sean got us to wear these POW necklaces or want these POW necklaces or Jesus pieces. And then like these certain types of articles, the snapbacks, you know, like of kind of how like how like that's the main influence too. Like fuck if you know, like people don't gotta know every word, but like damn, if you see motherfuckers now like setting trends or like because of you now they wearing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, because of Nelly, now they got the tattoo on the tattoo, the
Band-Aid.
the Band-Aid on the face, you know, or like with Pac with the bandana making that popular, or Kanye and his, you know, like things
Those
like that.
glasses that the graduation glasses that we
yeah.
were all using.
Right, like things like that makes like a bigger impact because like that's bigger than music.
Yeah.
Like just kind of like with Jordan with the shoes, just because I'm looking at Jordan now, like it's bigger. It was bigger than ball, like you know, like.
Mm-hmm. It's bigger than me.
Right, because motherfucker could see that, right, or see that and, like, not know that person and still like it. And it's like, but the reason why is because ASAP made Margiela poppin', or you know, made us more aware about it, I should say. You know, and same thing with Rick Owens and all of these brands, you know, and I would even Kanye and a couple other people's help, like Balenciaga, all that shit.
Different. I would want to say that Big Sean is on there because
he would be my vote. I mean, I was trying to think of someone else, but
I love me some Big Sean, and I was actually listening to the I Decided project, which is my favorite project of his, and
some people say I don't know. People say that he has a miss. I don't feel like he hasn't to me.
That he has a miss. He has
misses. Yeah, like or like there was 4. They were saying that like I saw a comment, and this is just off that opinion, like of what was it like. 4, like he had 4. Was it like 6 years of the 10 years? They were kind of giving him like, oh, that 4 years, it wasn't it. You know what I mean, or something like that. But damn, if he didn't drop an album, he didn't drop an album.
I mean,
you know. But some people go hard on the 2088, and then they go hard on the Metro Boomin album.
The 2088 one.
But 2088,
yeah, that one gets a lot of slack.
To
me, was a good one.
I like to me. That's why it's different for me. It's like I like 2088.
Yeah, I like 2088. I like 2088 and I enjoyed it. It's not an album that I always go back to listen to because I listen to I Decided a lot more. And even Detroit, the one that just came out. Detroit 2, yeah. I don't know why I was going to say 5.
John Fit, 2 for 5, out now.
Exactly. So I was just thinking about like I Decided, and I was listening to it and I was just like, damn, this was such a good project. But I suck. I don't suck, but I suck when it comes down to these type of things because I go based off of emotion. For me, I Decided, I pick it, and I want to say Wale. I mean, I would say Wale, but Big Sean, because I love that fucking album, and it was so therapeutic for me. And the time that it dropped, I needed it in my life. I didn't know I needed an album until I heard that album. Like, I didn't know I needed that album until I heard it and experienced everything that he was speaking about and like thinking and like just changing my mind frame and all of these things. And that's something that also happened to me with Ambition. The Wale album is that I would listen to that album and just like my mind frame just completely changed after listening to that album. So when albums do that to you, you listen and you're going to like stand your ground when it comes to that artist. So I also want to point out that when was the last Drake album? When was the last, Cole obviously, but he dropped one in 2018. And so there's some of these artists haven't always dropped.
We're now in a new decade, right? And then I think like Good Kid, Mad City dropped 2011, 12. Like, so what does that mean that he took a year off? You know, like so like if we're not discrediting them, you know, like when they don't drop, you know, on the others, I don't think it should be valid on the other ones. I do want to mention Wiz because again with that, Wiz had motherfuckers putting, and this is like dyeing their hair. You know, he had people with that haircut. You know, people were getting the Wiz Khalifa cut. Type shit.
Motherfuckers was screaming Taylor Gang.
Motherfuckers, a lot of you motherfuckers that smoke weed is because of Wiz. You know what I mean?
I'll never forget that I saw Wiz Khalifa for $14.
$14, bro. That's why I support your artists, even when they're on the come up, on the grind, because shit, now it's going to be a pretty penny to pay for, you know,
Pretty Little Penny.
Pretty Little Penny, because my boy got on soundtracks,
He's on everything.
multi-platinum plaques.
He's made. And another thing
he's part of pop culture.
about if you look at like Big Sean's "I Don't Fuck With You," that song has gone like 6 times, 7 times platinum. Do you know how much money that is? I don't either. So, but I know how the music industry works, and I know what that means. I know that's a lot of money. So he doesn't even have to continue to make music.
And I'm sorry we had to talk about this at the end, but low-key kind of happy. That first Big Sean album is better than that first J. Cole album. Like, probably not in skill or technical, just as song experience and what you could sell and what you can market. Definitely.
Yeah.
What the Chris Brown song? That's way better than Workout. If we're gonna put it like that. Because I forgot who it was. Because in that class there was 3. I think it was Rolling Papers. I said that Big Sean won that. He had the best debut album out of those 3.
Okay. All right.
Out of those 3, and I think I wouldn't even put Wale out of the 4 of them. Big Sean had the best debut album out of all of them. Not including
his debut
Drake,
album was which one?
and not Finally Famous.
Okay.
And not including that had Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay.
That was a really good. No, as soon as you said, because I wasn't sure which one it was, but that is a really good project.
And there's like 5, like at that time too. Some of them might be dated and all that stuff, but a lot of y'all don't go to Sideline Story when y'all talk about J. Cole. And J. Cole, utmost respect, killing it. I've seen J. Cole. No, I only seen him once. Was it once? Yeah, it's Kendrick, who I've seen twice. So right, like, come on. That's like just come on, like that debut album, at least on that row.
Dark Sky Paradise wasn't bad either.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's probably my favorite one, but it was just that era. It was,
I know you've been, and then that Play No Games. Listen, we're getting off track.
But
wanted to shout out all the Geminis out there. I wanted to
that.
point out some Geminis that of. We got Andre 3000, so happy birthday to him. He just had a birthday. Also DJ EFN, he just had a birthday as well, so happy birthday to DJ EFN.
Ambition Fam.
Yes, Ambition Fam. Also, the Miss Lauryn Hill is also celebrating a birthday this month, at the end of this month. Who else? We got Andre 3000. I said Jadakiss.
Well, R.I.P. to Pac. He was a Gemini, right?
Gemini in June.
Kanye,
Yes. Kanye. We have so many different Geminis in as far as hip hop goes, and we also have Kendrick Lamar, who's a Gemini. We have. Oh my goodness, I there's just so many, and it's
we'll get to them as their birthdays come.
Yeah, and then it makes no sense for it to be that many. Like, that should show you something very important. And so that's something that I just wanted to say, was to like kind of point out the Geminis, and that the season is here, and I'm not here to argue with anybody about it. But like, we're low-key the best, because even I'm in there. So like, you're adding like Biggie and Pac and Jadakiss and Andre 3000, DJ. Like, I'm amongst the likes of these names.
Get it right.
I'm amongst these names. Like, so I try so hard to not really care about horoscopes. Not that sounds bad. Like, I try so hard. I don't try so hard. Basically what I do is
Octavia Spencer's one, and also Angelina
Jolie, Naomi Campbell,
the new Spider-Man is Tom Holland. Your boy Trump is
Donald Trump is one. There's some that is just like so many different hip hop ones. Let me see, because I had like a picture.
Well, there's a couple of like newer names. I'm seeing Ninja here, KSI being one too. That said Tom Holland. Chris Evans is one too. Tupac.
I named everybody in this picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Johnny Depp.
Yeah. See, like, if you look at the names, like, that's great. Trippie Redd is one.
Let's just listen to a few.
Yeah, and Northwest
is one.
Is a Gemini. Marilyn Monroe. Who else? Kanye, Tupac. Yeah, there's like a couple. I'm surprised that little girl is there. There's a little girl that's there. That's hilarious, because she's like her family is like a YouTube family. Yeah. And so she's like. Well,
yeah, because that one's mainly more like on the whole like you know, what's
Oh my God. Okay, so after this we're gonna wrap up the episode.
Great
But
prize.
Naomi Campbell literally had a child at like 51 or 52 years old, and I just want to go out and say that it's never too late, ladies. It's never too late.
y'all got a roster though. Natalie Portman,
Natalie
Heidi
Portman and I
Klum,
actually share the same birthday.
Nicole
Nicole Kidman, Courtney Cox, Zoe Saldana,
Saldana,
Amy
Schumer.
Yes. I don't know those other people.
Yeah, man. Stand up, Geminis. If it's your birthday, go ahead and take a shot right now.
Oh. Say what's that birthday? So yeah, so shout out to Naomi Campbell for having her first child at that age. I'm not saying that I don't know if she had it herself. I don't think so, but I think that that's cool. Maybe that's the time that she felt she was ready to have kids. They say you know when you know. And you know
She finally knew.
who are we to say when she's gonna know? Yeah, because think about it. She lived most of her life not being a mom. Now she's gonna live the rest of her life being a mom. It's kind of like the conversation we were having of like, what's the rush?
Right, you have, and it's so cliche, the whole thing, like, you have all your life to do this. I hate that, but like, it's also true. Like,
It's so true.
Time is irrelevant. Just keep on going.
Just keep on going. Just keep. All right, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure to link with you guys yet another week. I am very grateful to have been able to do this episode. You would not think that I didn't want to do it because of how long it is. And I thank you for bearing with me and my yawning, because it was totally worth it, and I'm so grateful that I did it, and I'm so grateful for you guys for always tuning in. Make sure that you guys go ahead and check out the new music that we spoke about. I'm really talking about John Fifth. And if you listen to the DMX album, let me know.
Comment below. Did you like it? We're gonna give it a review next week. I'm gonna listen to it, get in that mode.
Yeah, exactly. I still haven't stopped listening to the J. Cole album, so there's that. Okay, so guys, remember, we are still in a pandemic, and even though people are not wearing their masks everywhere, make sure to wash your hands, wash your ass, drink your water, and mind your business. And for the 169th time in a row, it is your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves with my co-host, Top 600, and we are out of here.
You know what it is.
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.